What's up, guys? This is Par 73. I'm bringing you a blast from the past. This is Myth World Cup 1999, in an event that took place over 15 years ago. And at this point in the tournament, the 8 remaining teams have entered what they called the Crucible. The Crucible would be a series of rapid-fire matches between the teams, and the team left standing at the end of the day would be considered champion. The main reason for this is a lot of tournaments would slow down towards the end, and the organizers of the tournament, namely Butcher, wanted to alleviate this issue by having the teams fiercely compete a small window of time for the Myth World Cup. The Myth World Cup 1999 was the largest Myth 2 tournament to date. So let's look at the teams here and introduce the players. Over here in the West, the black team, we have the Sabre Runners, led by Blackbeard. Alongside of him is Pete, the Cabin Boy, Yellow Belly, Scurvy Dog, Rum Rogers, and Old One Eye. And over here in the East, we have BMF, Team Bad Mofos. They are being captained by Scorpio. Alongside him is Papa Scrub, Bullseye, Hunted HDK, Sid the Great, and Mythstar. Now, if you notice at the beginning of the recording, the gameplay of this match is played on 1.3, and I've played the majority of my Myth on patches 1.5 and the following patches. I believe the most current is 1.0, so we'll have to see how the gameplay differs over the course of the years, not only with the patches, but also with the player mind state. Looks like we have
Game
Old One Eye noticing that there is some likely pus. Papa Scrub is aware that Odin is a part of the Sabre Runners team, so I wonder who these guys actually were. It appears this is one of the early theme teams. And we have the Sabre Runners moving towards mid, while BMF is going for more of a two-prong strategy, sending only 2 of their Tro mid, 3 Tro south, splitting up their forces a bit, which may give the Sabre Runners a momentary advantage. In the middle part of the map, we see Yellow Belly pushing forward with his 40%. And it looks like the teams will play it slow here. And Odin has been identified as Yellow Belly. He has all the trow. Oh, and apparently Wayward One is here, not on the hill. That must be Scurvy Dog. How about that? Surprise, surprise! I did not think that a currently somewhat active player, WWO with a Wayward One, was participating in this match. And all is quiet on the battlefield as Sid the Great is going to block some Warlock shots. And Papa Scrub just lingering out in the south. An early advantage in BC points on Tro will be given to the Sabre Runners. It'll be interesting to see how the teams played out, because as you may know, could simply back off of your opponents and they will have to chase you into traps for the remainder of the map until they actually get some sort of damage lead. looking at the overall strategies of the two teams, Sabre Runners opting for 4 Warlocks mid, along with 2 fairly large soul packs of at least 10 souls apiece. Papa Scrub controlling a huge flank down south, 40% with 2 Tro and 2 Warlocks of his own. Odin is going to go down there and pressure him with his 5 Tro. So BMF has 6 Warlocks to the Sabre Runners 4, and it looks like the Sabre Runners are going to pressure a little, get some damage in on Papa Scrub and his units, and Tro have turned around to fight. They have caught Papa Scrub off guard. He's going to lose all of his Marcridia, though his Tro will meander onward to take out a Warlock. And there is still a stalemate mid. Papa Scrub's Warlocks are going to go down here. And Odin is boasting over there. Feels so good. So with a 150 body count lead right now, Sabre Runners are in a good position to just endure any oncoming offensive maneuvers. Papa Scrub admits he's only lagging a little. Nothing significant, it seems. The Warlocks will be exchanging shots. I believe Papa Scrub is moving around the western side of the map. And Odin will return mid for his team. Checking the mana of these Warlocks with about 5 minutes remaining in the game. Most of them have full mana, being very conservative with their shots here. And Bullseye has a low health Warlock, looking to take out one of these full health guys. And he turned away, looked back, almost got caught off guard by old One Eye. Blackbeard says got him, but it looks like he missed. Or not. Papa Scrub wants HDK to start microing his Solus here. Very slow-paced game. But there's not much that BMF can really do at this point besides try to poke some sort of advantage lead back in their favor. And you see that? And Solus is turned around barely in time. Bullseye, another close shot on his Warlock. He's still keeping it alive. And HDK will go back to continue to poke over here, but it looks like Pete the Cabin Boy will be holding that position down. And that shot will take out Bullseye's Warlock. Sabre Runners once again taking a commanding 150 point lead over their opponent. A nice block by Odin. Unfortunately, Blackbeard's shot was a little too slow to catch HDK, and now Scorpion will be moving up. There's only 3 minutes remaining here, so we might start to see some desperation come out of BMF here, which might result in some sort of loss or potential gain in points. We'll have to check the scoring for the tournament at the end, as games were not decided on win, loss, or tie, but rather a point system. That was, ooh, And there goes a Warlock. I think that was Scorpio. Odin's gonna get in a nice shot. Mister going to down Pete the Cabin Boy's Warlock in response. And with 2 minutes crunch time, we got Papa Scrub going in, harassing the opponent's marks as BMF takes out another Sabre Runner Warlock. Remember, Sabre Runner only had 4 Warlocks to begin the game with. Now they are down to 0. BMF, however, they still have 2, which was the original differential. Looks like it might have mattered. And the score has gotten a bit closer. We have a 122-point lead in favor of the Sabre Runners. Scorpio taking no units for his team, trying to oversee their push. Do this carefully, there's not much time. He's kind of warning them, but they're gonna have to push, and as long as the Sabre Runners hold on to this Soul Hill, I'm not sure they're going to be able to swing a favor in their lead, but you'll see now. The Warlock's able to push the Solus off of that hill. Blackbeard saying, just keep running, don't stop. Sabre Runners are bailing. Papa Scrub's going to push in here. He wants to do some damage. Actually gets the Sabre Runners to damage their own team a little bit.
30 seconds remaining.
And there's 30 seconds remaining here. There will be no contest. And Odin's gonna take some damage, dropping that lead they have below 100. And taking these Troll might be what BMF needs. Won't be enough, I believe. 5 seconds to go. Still a 100-point lead.
Game over.
And maybe with a little bit more time, BMF would have made some moves to swing the game back in their favor, but it is all over here. We will go through the statistics, take a look at the Myth World Cup 99 website to see what the scoring is, and see what happened with game 1 of this 5-game series. So it looks like Yellow Belly clearly leading his team here in damage. And this early push on Papa Scrub pretty much secured the lead that they would hold on to for the rest of the game. Now let's see here. Body count points are all MWC99 body count games go as follows. Scored as follows. Each team receives 1 point for each 10% of the enemy force destroyed at the end of the game. Each team receives 1 point for each 10% of the friendly force remaining at the end of the game. The team that scores the most damage using post-game stats receives 5 bonus points and the win. The maximum possible score in a body count game is 25. If no damage is scored, or the damage scored is exactly equal, the game will be tie and the 5 bonus points will not be awarded. So looking at what happened, we have a pretty tight game here. So it was a point for every 10% you took and 10% you had remaining. I suppose that means each team scored 4 points there respectively, and that would give the Sabre Runners an extra 5 points for the victory. Even though they did have less percent at the end. Interesting. Almost losing some extra points there thanks to the Tro going down. And on the website, this is scored BMF 9 points, Sabre Runners 14. And that doesn't really make sense to me. Looks more like the match should be 4-4 here, and then the 5 bonus points is to not end. So yeah, it scored 9-14 here. The next game is, well, I won't say that yet, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And looking at the stats really quick. Apologize for not getting to this sooner. I was trying to look at the Myth World Cup 99 website, but we have Yellow Belly leading his team in damage. He had the 5 Tro. We got 11 kills, 3 losses. Which player was Wayward 1? I believe it was Scurvy Dog. He had 23 damage, 0 kills, 0 losses. 01I, 1-1, 44 damage. And up with Yellow Belly there. Blackbeard, only 2 damage, 0-1. Pizza Captain Boy, 1-1. Rum Rogers, 0-1. So this is a low kill game, obviously. It's all about damage here. For BMF, Scorpio not netting any damage for his team, albeit he was the captain, and he did lose a unit somehow. But Papa Scrub netting 92 damage, Mister for 40 damage, Sid the Great 66 damage, HDK 22 damage, Emples 5 damage. And you can't see the graph at all here, but if you did, and you can see the mouse as well, Sabre Runner's line goes along with the mouses there. So they get a huge lead early, they just hold on to it, and we're going to move on to Game 2 of this series here. I hope you've enjoyed the cast so far, and yeah, stay tuned.